Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. Bum 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 bum. The Peter Like Show. Bum 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 bum. Well, happy Monday. This is probably one of the best Monday mornings I've ever woken up from, at least in a very long time. You see, over the last week, and including this past weekend, I've been consumed about something. I had a huge mouth sore, and you can still see it, but it's healed a lot, and I don't feel it anymore. Take a look at it. And the reason I was consumed about it was not necessarily how I felt about it. I mean, I was still able to get a lot done over the weekend despite the mouth sore, right? I went to several board game meetups, and I did some programming on the board game of Gizmos, and among other things, I took some long distance walks. I got a lot of stuff I wanted to do done. The main problem I have with mouth sores is that they seriously impede my communication skills. I'll be talking to my boss, to people I need to negotiate with, or maybe a girl that I like and I want to ask her out on a date. If it's somebody I have an established relationship with, it might not be that big of a deal. But you get the idea. And it seriously constrained what I could do, right? So, because I would be anxious to get the conversation out my mouth. Let's say I wanted to. It's hard to explain unless I had an example on my hands. Let's say I'm talking to my boss about courses that I'm teaching in the fall, right? That's something I'm going to be talking about today or tomorrow. And I got this mouth sore. I have a tendency to not say everything that I need to say. Or another tendency I would have is there's something that I disagree with, right? And there's a good reason for that disagreement, right? But in my haste to get it out, it comes out as I disagree, right? Instead of, well, this is great. I like this and I like this. I was thinking this. I was actually thinking this. Would you be amenable to that? Instead of saying, because my mouth is sore, I can't think about saying that. So, oh my God, no, this is not right. And unfortunately, it happens all too often when I have any sort of discomfort. And it's not really limited to mouth sores, right? It could be I'm anxious to get out to go to the bathroom. Although these days I'm more willing to get up and go to the bathroom when I need to, even in the middle of a meeting, right? Give me a second, right? Or something weighing heavily on me, right? It could be that as I'm talking to my boss, I could already feel that my phone has rang and I'm anxious to see what it is, right? My mind will wander a million miles an hour if there's an unheard message on my phone, right? Did I just get in trouble with somebody else at work, right? Did the IRS just call me? Did a family member just pass away? But my mind will race if there's a phone call that I cannot answer, whether I be driving on the road, in the middle of a lecture, in the middle of a meeting. That's the worst nightmare. I sometimes turn my phone off before going into the meeting just so I won't know it, and because my mind will race. You know, they talk about the dangers of texting and driving, but a lot of times I wonder if it would be safer for me to just text and drive, because otherwise my mind will race about what it is. Although I usually just pull off to check on it, right? I can't tell you how many times I've stopped on the side of the freeway or stopped at an inappropriate. I've had times where I've gotten into trouble because I needed to check this text, so I would pull into somebody's driveway, and the person on the driveway would think I'm crazy. You know, I can't tell you how many times that has happened to me. One time I pulled into somebody's. I didn't realize it was a driveway. Actually, this was in Montana, where people's houses, they have big farms connected to their homes. And I checked the text and it was kind of concerning. And I called this person back. The person on the end of the phone got really long winded. And the police actually showed up to wonder what I was doing. So that's the kind of anxiety that I run into when there's something weighing on me. And the last thing I need when I talk to my boss tomorrow about course scheduling for the fall is to have any sort of discomfort way. I'm definitely going to turn off my phone. I'm definitely going to try and close out as many things as I can outside of work before I go into that conversation, right? Maybe check my email, respond to them, and clean up everything, go to the bathroom for sure, and try to minimize the stuff that weighs on me, because that way I could have my best conversation with the boss. Now, it was weighing heavily on me during the weekend, and I woke up this morning and I have no mouth sore. Actually, it already started. I know it already started to heal overnight because I had a couple dreams overnight. In the dream, I was dreaming about because another big concern of me, one of the reasons I really want to have a good rapport with everybody at work, is that I have a solar eclipse that I want to go to in April. It will require me to probably take 1 or 2 days off. So I hope to accumulate a decent amount of rapport with everybody involved before that happens. So it won't be me asking for a favor. It'll just be me part of the community, right? Anyways, I had a bad dream about that last night. And then it dawned on me in the dream, my mouth isn't sore, because in my dream, as I was trying to negotiate with my coworkers, it dawned on me I don't feel any pain anymore. It's weird. I mean, this dream would have taken place in April of 2024. I mean, if my mouth didn't heal between now and then, it would be crazy, right? But I don't know why I even thought about my mouth sore in the dream. Now, in the dream, I had built this nuclear reactor. I had alluded to this last night. And it dawned on me that even though I had built this nuclear reactor, was making all this interesting stuff that I was still teaching at Phoenix College, and now I had a lot of negotiating power behind me. And that's when I woke up and realized that I didn't have this mouth sore. Now, the unfortunate thing about whether or not people were accepting me is that I work with a lot of people who are a little bit older than me, and I learned that it is very difficult to change the ways of an older person. You got younger people, you can quickly reprogram them, right? So I before taking the job at Phoenix College, I was working at a tutoring center. You got elementary school students, and sometimes they don't necessarily realize it's not appropriate. They ask me if I'm married or not, and then I tell them that I'm married to myself. And you got to understand, here in 2023, these kids already know people who are gay and lesbian, and they just think that's the coolest thing in the world, right? One brush and instantly they're reprogrammed, right? When they get into high school, it's a little bit trickier, right? But they're still programmable, right? By the time they finish college, it gets a little bit hairy, right? By the time they hit their midlife crisis, forget it. Right. And unfortunately, I work with a lot of people who are older than me. Now, the one elderly person that I did manage to reprogram into accepting solo sexuality, unfortunately, he's retiring. I was trying to, well, I tried to very gently nudge him away from retirement. I tried to tell him what a great job he's doing and the students are going to miss him and all that. I didn't think that. I wanted him to stay because I finally had an ally at the campus. And oh well, if I can make one ally, I can probably make others. So I'm trying to think positively. But I so tried to talk about a retirement. To give you an idea of how scared I am about him retiring, when I heard that inflation rates are going down, I kind of got a little bit of I kind of gasped a little bit because I was hoping inflation would go up so he would have to keep working. Not that it would be a bad. I don't know why he wants to retire. He has a really good charisma and he really loves his teaching and all that. But you know what? He's not solo sexual, so that could be it. Anyway, my mouth started to heal and I started to think a little bit positively. And so bismuth retirement. But you know what? If I really hit it big with either bismuth or the polonium reactor that I was talking about the other day, no, I'm not going to retire. I'm going to work my job even more freely now that I can speak up for myself and not worry about losing my job, right? I got to point that out. People think that I'm going to retire if bismuth goes to $1 million in house. No, I'll be more free to work. This is the Peter Like Show. Bum, 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 bum. The Peter Like Show. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. The Peter Like Show. Bum, 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 bum.